Alrighty, it's time to do some casuals guide fight picks for UFC St. Louis. So it's a UFC fight night. I've got to be honest, St. Louis they're in for a real treat here because this card makes UFC 301 look like a warm can of dicks. I mean, I don't know why you'd want the can of dicks warm. I don't know why you'd want a can of dicks at all. Um, what I'm saying is, in a nutshell, this card is way better than that. So let's get cracking with the casuals guide. Basically, what this is, it's a quick run through of the entire fight card, every fighter, every fight, bits of information on every single one. And I like to wrap it up in under 20 minutes, usually about 15, because look, you've got things to do. People have got lives. You know, who's got 3 hours to sit and go through everything in detail? You want a quick overview. If you want a quick overview of UFC St. Louis, then this is the video for you. Let's get cracking. Okay, we are starting off in the ladies' flyweights. You've got JJ Aldrich taking on Veronica Hardy. Now, Aldrich, she's a Taekwondo player with a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu purple belt. She's quite good at keeping distance. She's won 10 of 13 by decision. Yeah, that's entertainment, isn't it? Veronica Hardy is Dan Hardy's wife. I'm a huge fan of hers. She's brilliant on all the pick shows, on all the podcasts, really. I just think she's a good egg, and she's a decent fighter as well. She got a good armbar on Poliana Viana, but yeah, I'm going to pick Lady V in this one just because I like her. I have no other reason to pick her or go against her. But I hope that Veronica Hardy wins. Let's say that. Jared Gooden taking on Kevin Jusett. That's 170 pounders. You've got Gooden. He's no relation to John Gooden, the commentator. Although they look so similar. He got a Wellington Turman in a rear naked choke, which is quite impressive. He's finished 18 of his 23 wins. He's big, he's strong, he's physical. He is very good, actually. I think he's a little bit underrated. Now, Jusett is a Frenchman that I have never heard of. He's won both of his UFC fights, though, so he must be pretty good. Half the time, he gets the finish if he wins. I like Gooden in this one, though, because I just think he's got the experience and he has got that finishing instinct. And yeah, he should be better in every area. I don't know what I'm basing that on. Charles Johnson taking on Jake Hadley. Now, this one I'm really looking forward to. 125 pounders. Johnson, he's very active. He fought 4 times in 2023. I mean, he lost 3 out of 4, but he at least fought 4 times in 2023, so good for him. Jake Hadley, he's a very strong prospect from the UK. He got beaten by Cody Durden, but he has finished 2 of his UFC fights before then. He's kind of a threat on the feet and on the ground. I'm going to take Hadley here due to UK bias. That's why I'm picking Hadley in that one. Billy Goff takes on Trey Waters in the welterweight division. Now, Billy Goff, I don't know too well. He's newish to the UFC. I have seen him before. He tends to get knockouts. He's quite good with his hands. 7 of 9 by knockout. He's on a 2-fight knockout streak. Waters is an absolute giant for welterweight. 6'5" they have him billed as for 170 pounds. That shouldn't be allowed. That's cheating, isn't it? Anyway, look, he's got a massive reach advantage, 5 inches. He's mostly fought on the regional scene, though. For me, if Billy Goff gets on the inside, I like the knockout rate of Billy Goff. He has a lot of attributes to overcome, being the physical attributes of Trey Waters. But I'm going to roll the dice on Billy Goff in that one. And you've got Tabitha Ricci taking on Tisha Pennington, formerly Tisha Torres. If you're wondering why she looks so familiar, it's because she is in Tisha Torres and Tisha Pennington are one in the same beautiful person. Tabitha Ricci, also very, very beautiful. I'm such a huge fan of hers. Baby Shark, she stole my heart. Look, she's a good fighter as well. What is she, like a judo and jiu-jitsu black belt or brown belt? Either way, she's got judo and jiu-jitsu, and I've always said this, that if you've got a high-level judo and you've got Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you're probably pretty hard. Her short stature helps with her judo throws as well. She's looking to get back in the win column. She got a split decision loss to Lupe Godinez. A decent fight, though. Tisha Torres, we've not seen her since her loss to Mackenzie Dern, and she lost 4 in a row, but it's kind of deceptive because look at who she lost to on that loss streak. Joanna Jacek, Zhang Weili, Jessica Andrade, and Marina Rodriguez. She went to a decision with all of them, Obviously didn't come out on the right side, but that's a list of killers. I'm gonna pick the baby shark, Tabitha Ricci, because I'll never pick against her. That's not a reason to throw money on her because it's a 50-50, but I'll go with my favourite fighter in that one. That's what I'm going for. Terence McKinney takes on Esteban Ribovic. Now, 155ers. McKinney, he's got a lot of potential, honestly. NCAA Division II wrestler with some good submission skills. He also has some very exciting striking. Win or lose, he has never been the distance in his UFC career, in his MMA career. 21 fights, never been the distance. 15 wins, all finishes. Now, Ribovic, I've got a bit of beef with this guy. He's the only reason on UFC 290, literally one fight went the wrong way. And Ribovic obviously won. He beat Kamuela Kirk, but I bet on Kirk, which was a silly thing to do because had that fight gone the other way around, and it was a close fight as well, had that fight gone the other way, that would have been a $6,000 accumulator. Every other fight came in. So look, I can't blame Ribovic for that. All right, he's a decent striker. 11 finishes on 12 wins. Look, he is really good. I probably should have bet on him. I hate to do this, but I'm going against Ribovic again. And if this is the only fight that goes wrong again, I'm going to be distraught. It's not going to be. My picks have been woeful lately, absolutely woeful. So I'm going to take McKinney by decision. I think that McKinney goes the distance for the first time. I think Ribovic is hard to finish. And yeah, that's how I see that one going. Then you've got Chase Hooper taking on Vyacheslav Borshev. This one is 155 pounders. Now, Chase Hooper, he's a good young prospect. He's hit a couple of roadblocks here and there. He's a good Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu player, especially when he gets on the back. Now, Slava, that's his nickname, by the way. It's easier than saying Vyacheslav Borshev every time I want to say his name. So I'm going to call him Slava for the purposes of this little snippet. So yeah, Slava is an absolute killer. His boxing is insane. He fights out of Team Alpha Male. His body shots are ridiculous. That was what really stood out for me in his last fights. And I'm going to take Slava in this one by knockout. I just think he's really explosive, really, really good. So that was the prelims done. And now we move on to the main card. Don't forget to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. If you enjoy the content, I do fight picks and analysis every week. So yeah, the first fight of the main card is a good one. Got Waldo Cortez Acosta, against Robelius Despagny. Despagny? I don't know. I don't know how to say his name properly. I've heard it announced before. Basically, you've got Salsa Boy Cortez Acosta. I don't know why I can't say his name today. But he's a decent striker. He looks pretty good against Andrei Arlovski. He's got good distance management and he's got fast hands actually. But Despagny, Robelius. He's that killer out Cuba, the guy that knocked out Parisian just like walking backwards. He's the guy. He's basically a Taekwondo version of Yoel Romero, only he stands 6'7", and he's got one of the longest reaches we've ever seen. He's a ridiculous specimen, and I'm going to bet on him to get to knock out Acosta. I'm not going to pick against Despagny. Depagini, I don't know. It's hard to say. I need to listen to the announcers how they say it. But yeah, the Cuban. I'm not picking against the Cuban, the genetic freak. There you got Alex Caceres taking on Sean Woodson, 145 pounders. This is a really good fight actually, because I like Caceres. He's a fun fighter. Bruce Leroy. He's had his ups and downs. He's got very good submissions off his back, and he's got very good striking as well. He's always fun to watch. Now, Woodson, he's a weird build. He's got a very long torso, but he keeps range really well. His boxing is ridiculously crisp. It really, really is. I'm taking Woodson by decision in that one. Honestly, though, for me, that one is a coin toss. Then you've got Diego Ferreira against Mateus Rebecki. Rebecki? Yeah, Rebecki. Anyway, Ferreira, he's a bit of a veteran. He got submitted. He submitted Anthony Pettis back in the day. When you look at his record, he has beaten some really good people. He lost 3 in a row, but they were to Benil Dariush, Gregor Gillespie, and Mateus Gamrot. So look, those guys are absolute killers. He's very strong in grappling exchanges. He's got a superb knockout of Michael Johnson back in the day. He's good. He's really, really good actually. Rebecki, he's extremely good himself, though. He's strong in the grappling. He had a nice armbar over Roosevelt Roberts. Also, he's very good in boxing range, honestly. I'm going to go for Rebecki in this one purely because he is 31 and Ferreira is 39. Their skill sets are very, very similar. And for that reason, I'm just going to go with the younger guy. Then you've got Alonzo Menafield against Carlos Holberg. This is a really exciting fight. Ridiculous fight. Now, Menafield, he's a former linebacker. He was good. He played at college level, Texas A&M. He's physical. He's hard to move around. He's athletic. He's big. He's got big power. 10 of 15 wins by knockout. He can hit a guillotine as well. He's really a problem in every area when he turns up to fight. However, he is fighting an absolute monster in Carlos Holberg. Carlos Holberg is 6'4". He could be a model. I don't think that helps his fighting, but it can't hurt. Look, he keeps range really well. He fights out City Kickboxing in Australia. He's their light heavyweight prospect, basically. He's on a 4-fight win streak. 4-fight finish streak, in fact. Now, this one could be fight of the night very, very easily. I'm tempted to take Carlos Holberg because Menafield did struggle with the height and range of Owen St. Preux and is quite a similar height and range, like reach to Carlos Holberg. He got clipped and knocked out. Now, for that reason, I am going to take Carlos Holberg, but Menafield is really good. You can't count him out. He's got so much power. If he clips Carlos Holberg, he could knock him out. But Holberg's also a master of managing distance, and he's very good. But I will take Carlos Holberg in that one. This one for me, probably fight of the night, if we're being honest. Then you've got Shaquem Buckley against Nursultine Rizaboev. Now, this is another one where you've got a ridiculously big welterweight. Shaquem Buckley, he's all chest, right? He's all chest, first team, all body. He's a lot of fun. He's got a lot of power. He just came off that big stoppage of Vicente Luque, which was extremely impressive. Now, Rizaboev, he's 6'5" welterweight. Again, I don't understand how a 6'5" person gets down to 170 pounds. I'm sure he used to fight at middleweight. I don't know why he's making that big of a cut. I don't know how well that's going to go for him. But look, he's got 34 wins, 32 finishes. The guy is a beast, right? He battered Cedric Dumas, but we all thought that was going to happen. It was on the cards. He can strike. He's got really good grappling. I hate picking against Buckley, but man, somebody the size and ability of Rizaboev, if he can make that weight comfortably, then he's going to be a real issue just because of his attributes. Really, I'm going to take the submission in that one. That's what I'm going for. Rizaboev by submission, and then you've got the main event of the evening. Look, it's always fun when you have Derek Lewis in a main event. It's never not fun. He's the knockout king. He's got the most knockouts in the UFC. I believe he still holds that record. Look, you know what you're getting with Derek Lewis. He's going to try and stop the takedown, and if he can, you're in real trouble. He sometimes struggles with guys that just try and outspeed him against the fence. But honestly, if you get into a striking battle with Derek Lewis, you're playing with fire, right? Derek Lewis needs fun opponents. He needs better opponents than Jailton Almeida, who just sat on him for, 3 or 5 rounds. It felt like an eternity, honestly. It was like Almeida didn't come out of that looking good. It's like you just sat on him. But that was an annoying fight because Almeida could have finished him and not taken any risks in doing so. But it's almost like he wanted to annoy people by just sitting on it. Anyway, Derek Lewis, look, if it stays standing, he's always got a chance. We know that. Nascimento, he's a decent grappler. He does tend to gravitate towards the grappling as well. I don't know if he's going to be as good at grappling as Almeida. And got to bear in mind that Derek Lewis has this ability to just stand up sometimes. Sometimes people will take him down and he just powers out and he just gets up. And you have to be very, very high level to stop him from doing that. I'm not going to count Lewis out in this one. Again, this is more what I hope happens than what I know. It's always a risk betting on Derek Lewis because, again, sometimes he just doesn't look right. He doesn't show up. But also, there's plenty of occasions where he just sparks people out cold, and that is what I'm all about. It's what I enjoy the most. So that is what I'm going to be betting on. I'm going to bet on Derek Lewis to clap them cheeks one more time and get the knockout in St. Louis. Yeah. That's it. That's the Casuals Guide for Fight Night St. Louis. If you've enjoyed it, just hit like and subscribe. I do fight breakdowns and recaps and betting. I'll do some terrible bets later on today, but I have a barbecue to prep for that I'm very much looking forward to. And until next time, keep those odds long and those bets terrible.